Hi, thanks for joining us. This is part of the REMI network, and we're delighted to bring you all kinds of experts across all sectors in the business. Today will be no exception. Don't forget to subscribe and tell a friend. And in fact, if you don't mind, comment, because that's where we get ideas for many of our stories. That's how we know what you're talking about. Today, we're going to speak with Bran from Lazy Lawn. Now, I love this product. Bran, thanks for coming in the studio.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I don't know if you can see in the background, our Lazy Lawn is a little bit unkempt right now, unfortunately.
It does look like you guys are getting a wee bit lazy around here. That's for sure.
That's for sure. We need to be lazier, I think. Talk to me a little bit about what the actual product Lazy Lawn is.
So Lazy Lawn is essentially artificial grass, and our brand Lazy Lawn is geared toward residential, commercial properties, and say daycare. We have another brand for our sports side, which is just Turf It, but Lazy Lawn is mainly lawns, residential, commercial, and daycares.
Is this catching on? I mean, historically, I have to admit, I cut my lawn last night and I took a look at it, and the skunks have already started to looking for bugs below the surface. It's a little patchy because the guys who took care of it last year that cost me $400 or something just burned it. I can see why this would catch on. That's my interpretation, but is it the truth?
It is the truth. I mean, we got in this business about 13, 14 years ago. Everyone thought I was completely insane for leaving a Bay Street job to start an artificial turf company. We've had 1 year of lower revenue than the previous year in our 14-year history. We do more lawns every year than we do the year before. And we've essentially grown across Canada with dealers and installers right from coast to coast. So there's definitely a growth trajectory. It's a bigger market than most people think. And once everybody has turf, they're going to have to start thinking about replacing it some 15 to 20 years later.
So it has a regenerative life.
It has a regenerative life for business after it's put down initially. Yeah.
Did a little bit of research before we did this today, and I was like, how often do people find they have to start from scratch with their own lawns? And it's every 15 to 20 years.
For turf, yes. For artificial turf.
No, for real.
For turf.
For real lawn. If you want a healthy looking, natural, cuttable lawn, you may have to scrape and begin again in as little as 15 to 20 years.
It might happen sooner. It depends where you are. I mean, if you're in Vancouver, they have a problem with Schaefer beetles.
Okay.
It's just, I've seen it with my own eyes about a month and a half ago when I was there. They just tear up lawns. They kill the roots. Here. They could easily come here. They have water restrictions in Vancouver all summer long. You will not be able to water your lawn. My people in Edmonton tell me the same is going to happen there. So lawns are going to die annually. I mean, there's a reason why the seed and the fertilizer business exists. Every spring they come out telling you need more seed, you need more fertilizer. It's an endless pain. Now you can't win.
I'm sorry, I had to paint that side of it because that's the side as from a resident, like with my own lawn, I want it to look top notch. And frankly, I've even considered landscaping to avoid having bad looking lawn. And that's kind of where you guys factor in, because some of the residential applications on your website are stunning.
They are, and I thank you for that. I mean, look, a lot of people, if you don't have a use for kids running around in the backyard, if you don't have a use for dogs running around in your backyard, for sure you can get some patio stones, put a bunch of plants up, put a pool, a hot tub, what have you, and you'll essentially be maintenance free. And I have no props about it. If that's what you want, that's what you can get. Mm-hmm. But the moment you have kids that you want them to play outside, the moment you have dogs, you're going to need something for them to play on and pee on. And that's essentially what Lazy Lawn provides.
Okay, so now let's paint the picture for this, because there's going to be building management people watching this and building owners. And you just raised one good point. Play areas and pet areas are probably the primary focus of what they would find in your product.
That's for sure. And when it comes to the commercial space, there's definitely a use for it. I mean, there's all kinds of grass that has to get cut every year. There's a cost to that. That grass doesn't, if it's got weeds in it, allergy season's going on, certain residents can't use it the way they otherwise would. If pets pee on it, you're going to get yellow patches. With Lazy Lawn, all that's gone. It's going to provide a year-round playing surface for the residents of the building.
Here's the other thing. Right now in Ontario and in certain parts of Canada, we are under a severe elevated warning of ticks. And the truth is that comes off of long grass, unkempt grass in wooded areas. This is a real avoidance for that right there. There's a safety measure in itself.
I haven't had a customer, call it 1,500 to 2,000 customers ever tell me they had a tick problem with our lawn, right?
I can imagine.
So we probably solved that problem too, not even knowing that we potentially did, right? I hear about this tick problem. I can't say that I've ever seen one in real life. That doesn't mean they don't exist.
No,
I don't go into weeded areas.
I do promise you they exist.
I believe it. I believe it.
Sadly, I can prove that. But it is interesting that sort of thing, even down to that level, maintenance must be a joy. Now, how do you handle that in a pet scenario?
So we're going to fill lawn up with microbial sand. It's essentially sand coated with microbes, and it kills urine. It kills ammonia. Ammonia is the smelly part of urine. It goes into the grass. It helps hold up the grass. So when the dog pees on it, it kills. Underneath that, we typically have a 4-inch base of high performance bedding. It is a stone that drains exceptionally fast, somewhere to the tune of 30 inches per hour. So with urine just flowing through, obviously you're going to have to water it every now and again. If we go through a dry spell, the rain will take care of most of that. And then other than that, the only other maintenance is leaves. You're going to want to blow them away with a blower. It works much better than a rake. And the weight of the snow in the winter might flatten out the turf. On a warm day, you'll want to get a coarse brush and lift it back up.
That's all that it takes.
That's all that it really takes.
Okay, so just a little bit more perspective, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
So the snow goes away in my yard, and that's when I start to see where the damage is. I don't get to wait for a nice warm day and brush it back into place. I have to wait for a nice warm day and realize how much damage there really is. This seems like a really good solution. The other thing is it's incredibly convincing looking.
It is. I wish I brought some samples in here. I will get them in a little bit. They are very convincing.
I would imagine you could take a look for yourself. The photos are remarkable.
Yeah, online they're high definition photos. I mean, you're going to get a good taste of what it is. If you want to see free samples, we definitely just touch base with us and we'll definitely send them out.
Who are some of the people that are most using your product commercially speaking right now?
Commercially speaking, it would be daycares. Daycares are big proponents of our product. The city of Toronto, all the daycares within their realm are getting them done. We're doing them throughout the next 4 or 5 years, about 8 to 10 of them a year. We have talked to a lot of condo management corporations. There's always somebody that's against fake grass. I think they have this preconceived notion of what it is that they think it looks like from something from way back in the 80s, early 90s. I assure you it's not that. It's turf on steroids, right?
That's why I was so impressed with it. I was like, okay, this is not what I thought I was going to be looking at. And in fact, it's really quite beautiful by comparison to patchy lawn or infested lawn, I guess. How would people reach out to you, Bran? I would love for people to find out more, because I think on a case-to-case basis, you'll go out there and have a look, see if it's applicable, and quote it out that way?
Yeah, listen, if you want information, the easiest thing to do is go to lazylawn.ca. If you want to get an immediate quote, you can go to toronto.lazylawn.ca. That's where we have a pricing algorithm for Toronto. We have those around the country, so you name it, Vancouver.
So you just go on,
Calgary, you put in your address. We've created a program that automates the quoting of it. You're just going to draw it out on a map. And you'll get a quote in less than 45 seconds.
That's remarkable.
And from there, we'll text you. A local rep will text you within minutes. And, if you want us to come over and take actual measurements and see the turf, by all means, we can do that.
Now, what a pleasure to meet you. You've got a great looking product.
Thank you.
And I think, you stand behind quality on this and say, okay, look, I'll see you in 15 years. That's a pretty good run.
Yeah.
And, you build out that cost efficiency over that time. It seems like an alternative that would be kind of the simple choice.
It pays for itself. How fast it pays for itself depends, I guess, on the user. But the amount of water that us Canadians spend watering our lawns and feed weed and fertilizer, and then hiring companies that handle weeds, it's really pointless. It's a one-time cost. We do offer financing options, so we have a finance company that'll finance it out. And it's just a no-brainer. It's one of those where it's a no-brainer, and it really is for most people, right?
Thanks for your time today. I appreciate this.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
And thank you. We appreciate you being there. subscribe, tell a friend, and stay a part of the REMI network. We'll see you next time.